Betray a simple from.
All right, enti yes, you name a simple for. That is what the president of our land is telling us. Obi a meka simple for. Minister of Information, Yera Sam Jata George, see Obi a meka SIM card for no kama President John Dramani Mahama at Sampa. I was Obi a meka SIM card for. But I totally disagree with all of them. I totally disagree with all of them. I'm going to share my views on this kind of things because I don't see why I say could care simple for abra technology. Ebetimi ma ya say adwuma we ya Sam George Ekan. I totally disagree with the president. I totally disagree with Sam George. Inti abusuya tobo na ye nhye agoro no ase. Me pa in the comment section obetimi do adwen kire aba. Emre bi atwa the NPP omo ye same registration bi but ti asema Sam George ekafa ho.
If you are saying that the last registration that was done, that's the argument of the ministry, that some people use fraudulent national ID cards to register their SIM cards. That should not mean that all 32 million active SIM card holders in Ghana today, or all 32 million active SIM cards, the holders must go through a re-registration. Identify those whose cards are fraudulent, because you can do that using the Ghana card registration database, the NIA database. You can do that using the EC voter database. Do that using the SNIT database, and do that using the DVLA database. These are, and even the National Health Insurance. These are all biometric databases that we are synchronizing in the country. So you can do a cleanup of that.
That's what I say. So we can actually do a cleanup of all the system. Sam George adventure no. The minister nankasa na adventure no. Now Sam George is my free with SIM registration. Was saying SIM registration because say a being course that you know Sam George be Ghana or see a being course e Ghana. I totally disagree with Sam George. Totally disagree with him. Yeah, Sam George I come a president to create is what say ampa and see a register a SIM card. About you president.
Na SIM registration no. Some of it here. I'm maybe a tremu. You see na try a SIM from. Na edio how kese ebai okwa na MTN na si canopy na ni party ase na ye frɛ obaako edio how by kopem se ye nyina sɛ ne anim sɛ Minister of Communications are all SIM registration no na one National Identification Authority penje no na omo nkasa na HSA omuntem enye papa enti se wo SIM registration a e wo se wo de bata national registration ho se ne be ya your phone number yetimi hu se sa number yi e nana suma hene dia if you say ya register ya de Ghana card atoso enti se number no ko ye bibia ni e trace a e be hu se nana suma hene e number Arehusem wo ho ne se ya nya ne sa ye ko twa SIM card foforo keke chese mfaso bie ni so enti afa SIM card registration here Minister of Communications ebeye no ye de be link wo Ghana card na sa SIM card no ntimi nsesa Ghana card da so da enti bibia e be si bia ye sa SIM card no ye be hu se eye asimesi dia ana eye wei dia na eno the way ayebeye no no enya dia obekwa akọ yes santene no akotwa card foforo ye de code bi beba wo phone so na akase churowudin enter Ghana card number ene wo bibia ewo sa code no so o enter wia na wamia enter na akọ database no na e de SIM card na bata Ghana card no eno ano no enti wonko MTN enko ka say me be register me SIM eno so ye free ni aya ne say re-registration na ye be ye no telephone companies no ne betu aka enti say registration bia ye 5 cedis a omo no betu 5 cedis na ma o enti wo dia ne say code no ba wo phone so a na ye erikopoku wo SIM card no achro erikopoku wo house number wo den on bebu sound wo Ghana card ID number now they are shame no amia enter eno ano no wa register na obi a obenya problem any registration no wo na obekọ company no no wakoka say me sim card nie but me register emfa ana say na ye me papa sim card nso afa me na me use enti mpesa me sesa registration no ekomidim ebia na umame ewo phone ena owuja ho ena wo na wo use phone no enti wo bekọ akọ register ne sim no ewo wudi mu na chese adane wo dia aha enti sa nipa no nko a ena bekọ phone company ho akọ sesa omo registration enti ka omo kai enye hu bia
that be Mr. President say enye hu bia hey asemo hey Ghana President John Dramani Mahama say enye hu bia. I disagree with President hu chen senia hu no hu chen senia President etiase no hu but when ma say mesere Ursula Owusu a President can say not doing honorable can atefu as papa atefu a no mon can Ursula Owusu say enye no kwere also she had no feud with Professor atefu a o say enye no kware o say bibia say anyone tin say President can no President enemy say ma o kan enti Ursula at the write up tin aba but we're not going to go into Ursula's position now and it's up to them so it's up to them because ni am minim say can I tell for that NIA no Ursula also the Minister of Information and Communication no enti as to say omantimen collaborate here what is so bono ko boy Ursula Owusu enye ese the board the sitting president and the vice president then because mo and oman hwe adwuma anye oversight responsibility no mantimi anye enti me mfa ko boy Ursula Owusu me the boy Ursula Owusu a enye e wo mse Sam George obeye adwuma it's up to you someone so obeye ma adwuma no aye pepe. That is what we all know. But Ghana for some countries, Sam George say the biggest problem I facing now no any SIM registration, but at the Fufurobi SIM registration in Ghana for that is not the problem now. But when it be Sam George so didn't the movie beba. Sam George near the kind near I had Ghana for a anyway.
No business entity is Father Christmas. Already, we are having signs of our data running like Usain Bolt. We are yet to deal with that matter. It's very easy for the telcos to adjust their data to compensate for whatever cost.
So it looks like today you are not.
I know how
you're not speaking in favor of the telcos.
No, the telcos have a big issue.
But you don't have evidence now, so.
What evidence would I have when I know that my data is running like Usain Bolt?
So,
stop watching TikTok.
No, still no.
You see,
well, very simple thing. The auto data of Ghana is running like Usain Bolt, and that is a dear Ghana for every Sam George ho. Sa wonama ukwa Ghana nkurobi so a agi sa ukwa full dua anse the wanya telephone network. And no na Ghana for say every Sam George ho. Sometimes the politicians, when we give them the opportunity, or mankasa or madribi as to how they believe that people want them to govern. But that is not what people expected from Sam George. William Cap, we are all there. Because you as Minister of Information and Technology and Communication, bisa who say, okay, maybe SIM registration, a DM for so dear and a team ebenya. That is the first question. Se what we say a scammers enti and say momo fraud into now ya amount to saying and in the previous years no momo fraudsters a amount for her maybe 20 million cedis 20 billion cedis 10 billion cedis and a true momo scam no amount for actually tell us those figures my Ghana for na ya sonte and a juma we are by an cost mine is saying sika saying na mine ebenya free mu my here. You know, so these are simple things. But how they before we do that, I'm going to explain to you the process now. It was in Sam George a fasono. But let's listen to Sam George and Kasa. Say, Sam, why do you think that we need this same registration again? What's it saying? Yes, same registration now. Why do we need it? Sam George did not ebeba. Let's all listen very, very carefully to Sam George and Sama Obabeka. I don't want to quote him into person won't see and simply Sam George and Kasa eho.
This registration that's going to start is going to be backed by law. We've worked not just with the NIA. Alfred, we've worked with the NIA to ensure that we have a seamless real-time verification against their database, something that didn't exist the last time. We're working with the Office of Registrar of Companies to now ensure that every business SIM, we are able in real time to identify from the ORC's database who are the directors of that company, and then extrapolate the Ghana card details of the owners of that company and link to all the business SIMs that are registered. We're working with the Ghana Immigration Service to ensure that all passports of foreigners who enter the country, who apply for a registration, were able to see their entry and exit date in real time. So that's another leg of collaboration that's happening. We're working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For all
some George can you very carefully. If we are maybe pinpointy holes, loopholes, I want some George economy. 70 years pa me pese me machine na pese wan kasa untie nsema wakano.
All foreign diplomats and staff of foreign embassies in the country who use a foreign ministry issued ID card to also do verification of them in real time. We're also working with multiple state agencies, including the police and all of that, to ensure that the system is robust enough. So this is not...
all of this doesn't happen in the 2021 to 2023 SIM registration?
Alfred, unfortunately, no.
Because Ursula Owusu says over 80% of the about 30 million SIM cards that were registered within that period have already been successfully verified too. That claims that the excise had no value are inconsistent, especially because, and here's the point that said, the current approach uses the same methods.
Alfred, I've just explained the methods and what we are doing. And for those who followed the process, how is it that, I mean, the claim she's making that they follow the same methods is not founded by her own statement. She's saying that what she did not have verification against the NIA database. And I'm telling you that, and at the meeting where we were, I'm not just saying it, the executive secretary of the NIA was present and admitted to the fact that they've worked with us. In fact, for us to get where we've got into, and you know, there's a second leg to this whole thing. People say, and Ursula alluded to that again, why don't you just take the 80% that have already been verified? Let's be clear. 30 million SIM cards per her reckoning were registered under her process. What we did was an audit sample of just 2 million. So it is incorrect to say that 80% of the 30 million cards have been verified. Now, we ran a biometric verification on the 2 million sample that we picked randomly. There was 0%, none, not even one matched. And that's very simple technology as well. The fingerprints were taken by the NIA using contact means. You put your hand on a device and it captured your fingerprint, just like what the Electoral Commission did. So you remember that whenever we go to vote, what we do is we put our finger on a biometric verification device because it's contact. What Ursula did was, NIA has a contact-based fingerprint system. Then she says, I'm taking contactless photographs of your fingerprint. You can't match that system anyway. What we then did was we used the facial recognition. Facial recognition was contactless. So we did that match across board. Now, Alfred, what we found out, and again at the meeting at the NCA, we showed you evidence of it. You saw cards that were verified in the 80% that we verified as against the NIS database. When we did further forensic analysis, you realize that 2 registrations have gone through as properly verified. The Ghana card number is the same. But when you pull up the record of the exact Ghana card that was used, you then begin to see disparities. The name on the Ghana card is different. Same Ghana card number, but different first name, different last name on the 2 cards. The height of the person is different. The date of birth of the person is different. Even the photograph of the person on the 2 cards, which have the same Ghana card number, is different. So you realize that one of those cards is a clone. But you see, because you just buy, basically it was, let's all go through, almost like what we saw with the free SHS at the beginning. Everybody just go through. We allowed everybody go through. You now have fraudulent Ghana card registrations that were passed through into the system. And that's why we cannot say that everybody who is on the existing system just go on. We need to do a fresh liveliness test. And Alfred, this is where the catch is. In this studio, if I look across, everybody here is holding a smartphone. It means that everybody in this studio has no business queuing to register their SIM card. Because what's going to happen is that I'm using an Android. I see that Prof is using Prof Akosia. I'm using an Android, but Prof Akosia, Kofi,
Me too.
and are all using Apple.
Yeah.
Are all using iOS. We have a system that is now available on both Play Store and iOS, Android and iOS. Now you download the app. When you download the app asks you, and you can use either the app or USSD. It asks you to enter your Ghana card number. Once you enter your Ghana card number, in real time, it pulls up the biometrics against the NIA database. And then once you're using the app, it will ask you to do a liveliness test. And for those of you who use modern day banking, even when not, forget modern day banking, when you bought your phone, if you want to use your face to unlock your phone, when you buy a new phone, your face is scanned by your phone with your camera. It will tell you to turn your face, turn it around, and that's the same thing you're going to do. It's just going to ask you to verify your face. It will take the contours of your face, match it in real time.
Minia, I understand, say you think there's no sound, right? Then let me just go back again and play it once again. That's the truth. If the sound went away, I'm not surprised that the sound went away. But let me just try to play it once again. Now, I need to check whilst there was no sound coming out.
As against the NIS database. When we did further forensic analysis, you realize that 2 registrations have gone through as properly verified. The Ghana card number is the same. But when you pull up the record of the exact Ghana card that was used, you then begin to see disparities. The name on the Ghana card is different. Same Ghana card number, but different first name, different last name on the 2 cards. The height of the person is different. The date of birth of the person is different. Even the photograph of the person on the 2 cards, which have the same Ghana card number, is different. So you realize that one of those cards is a clone. But you see, because you just buy, basically it was, let's all go through, almost like what we saw with the free SHS at the beginning. Everybody just go through. We allowed everybody go through. You now have fraudulent Ghana card registrations that were passed through into the system. And that's why we cannot say that everybody who is on the existing system just go on. We need to do a fresh liveliness test. And Alfred, this is where the catch is. In this studio, if I look across, everybody here is holding a smartphone. It means that everybody in this studio has no business queuing to register their SIM card. Because what's going to happen is that I'm using an Android. I see that Prof is using Prof Akosia. I'm using an Android, but Prof Akosia, Kofi,
Me too.
and are all using Apple.
Yeah.
Are all using iOS. We have a system that is now available on both Play Store and iOS, Android and iOS. Now you download the app. When you download the app asks you, and you can use either the app or USSD. It asks you to enter your Ghana card number. Once you enter your Ghana card number, in real time, it pulls up the biometrics against the NIA database. And then once you're using the app, it will ask you to do a liveliness test. And for those of you who use modern day banking, even when not, forget modern day banking, when you bought your phone, if you want to use your face to unlock your phone, when you buy a new phone, your face is scanned by your phone with your camera. It will tell you to turn your face, turn it around, and that's the same thing you're going to do. It's just going to ask you to verify your face. It will take the contours of your face, match it in real time against what the NIA holds.
I see.
Once that is matched, it allows you to register the SIM that you are talking, the SIM that is in your device. Then it makes you choose that SIM or whichever SIM it is, the first one, as your primary number. You lock that in as your primary number, and what we do at the back end is we register that SIM and also register the device on which that registration has been done. We pull the IMEI and match both together. So now we've matched your SIM card, your Ghana card, and your phone IMEI in one device. That's completely different from what Ursula Owusu did. This is the first time we're having 3 systems matching to identify that individual. Now, maybe Kofi has a second number. So Kofi wants to register that number. Yeah. When Kofi tries to register that number, we will send CP to Kofi's primary number, which we have verified, to be sure that it is Kofi who is doing that registration. Because if someone picks your Ghana card and tries to register, because you have your Ghana card is now linked to your SIM card, it will send the OTP automatically to that number. So that person will not be able to register. So the issue of ghost SIMs will now be reduced or completely removed. Now, what this allows us to do is it allows us to deal with the issue of Momo fraud decisively. Today, what's the cost of Momo fraud? 10 Ghana cedis. Why do I say the cost of Momo? Report a number, and we investigate, and that number is engaged in Momo fraud. We block the number. But how much is a new SIM? 10 Ghana cedis. The person buys a new SIM, throws out the old SIM, puts it in his phone, and continues. But now with the CEIR, the Central Equipment Identity Register that we're building, and linking the IMEIs to the SIM, when your number is reported, don't forget that SIM has been linked to an IMEI of a device. That device is blocked. It then means that to use if you go and get a new SIM, you need a new phone because now your phone has become a piece of plastic. We will block it across all the networks because today, even if we decided to even block it, there was no way to block it across all networks. So people just migrate from one network to another to commit the fraud. Now we can block you across all SIMs. So your device and the SIM increases the cost for the fraudster. It means he needs to find some 2,000-3,000 to buy a new phone. Now beyond that, because we have your Ghana card,
it doesn't eliminate mobile money fraud completely.
It raises the bar. But then beyond that, if a number linked to a Ghana card is found to have a second report, so for example, the person has registered 2 SIMs on that Ghana card. The first one is flagged in Momo fraud. We block it. He uses the second number. Once we have a second one, we don't just block your device now, we also block your Ghana card. Now, if we block your Ghana card, it means that you cannot access any other service in the country with a Ghana card. Don't forget, your Ghana card is now your TIN number.
Unless you report yourself.
You have to report yourself to the police. You cannot get your health insurance renewed. You cannot get your driver's license renewed. You can't access your banking. So, for anybody engaged in mobile money fraud, what we are doing is making it a very expensive venture that ultimately, when your Ghana card is blocked, because now we've done the direct verification and our systems are speaking, once we flag you and block you on our NCA system, the NIA does same to you, you are deprived of access.
Anyway, my friend, see what when Sam George can. I'm sorry for Sam George. I'm very sorry. Sam George, say Sam George and we are better than dictator. I'm very strict here. And Sam George can. It's as a Sam George, but a dictator be in Ghana. Now, I will entreat President John Dramani Mahama to be very careful with Sam George. He's one of the ministers I personally I don't like. And everything he does, and personally to me, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. One, Sam George say, Oko register or phone or SIM now. You need to register, even they're going to register your phone. In addition to registering your SIM. Sam George doesn't know, say, Ghana, no, you can't be tracking and tracing people wherever they go like that. If that is the avenue Sam George wants to go. Now Sam George wants to track people's Osha or girlfriend, them because Sam George, you know, say, Osha have based on your phone and your SIM number. That is what Sam George wants to do. Now, maybe Nimba be a Sam George, Nipo or advise Sam George to be doing all these kind of things. And I don't know why President, I'm sorry, President, you shouldn't have accepted Sam George to do this kind of thing. Say now, say Sam George will bet me at Tanani demo. I can say woman, power sem, or block your phone, according to Sam George. Phones in your not on any panel. I will say, this kind of idea Sam George, you know, him for cry. I think it's North Korea and Sam George Kotana. No question we say. Getting access to be blocking people, not just a SIM card, but people's phone. Because you think that you cannot commit Momo fraud. Intimate ways, so because of my committing Momo fraud, Sam George will sit in his office and block your phone. Anyway, that is the nation we are building. But let me tell Sam George, he doesn't know. Nippon are advising based on this kind of things, you know. Need to listen to this. I'm gonna tell him very carefully. So all NIA registration now, which is the Ghana card now. Sam George ought to know say any card no any important, you know. But the number on the card any important. Yeah, Desmond say Sam George has no IT background. He is speaking as if he knows it all because you can only block a SIM card and not the phone. I don't know who is advising Sam George. Exactly, that's what me know. I don't know who is advising him to be saying these kind of things on national television as a minister. So Sam George is he can sit in his office comfortably and block people's phone. I would have done Ghana. Sometimes when I listen to these ministers, I pity for Ghana. And I say, Ghana, no, we are going back. We are not moving forward. Let me explain something to Sam George. Opa, Otia, Omfa, Opa, Manemfa. It's up to him. He is the minister. Sam George and we are daching, you be doing attempt sebi. Because I know, and I'm speaking on authority, say, Sam George, is going to fail. Well, people have market down. It's going to fail. Sam George is now blaming Ursula Owusu, but he is also going to fail, as Ursula Owusu failed. Let me explain something to you. Very simple system. Oko Ghana card, so okay, Ghana card registration. It is not the card that is important, but rather the number on the card. And if Sam George wants to achieve something successful, a designer Ghana card system, they say, Uber register Ghana card. That is exactly the same time or SIM card needs to be verified. And me call some Ghana card and as me register Ghana card. Or mama register that so I'll make the system beba. I'll tell them if they want this to listen. If they want, it's up to them. And they say now Germans are now Kumanu Koso Ghana card. Or Tihono. Why could be area you be taking a picture of biometric database no? You be saying say mobile number day. Se nipa nankasa can, then there should be a system a be send the text message instantly for the person to verify. When I send the same number. Then that verification needs to be linked to some drug database in our open. Minimum the Minister of Communication and Information. All these kind of databases, it's up to him. Minimum the because me my dream a National Identification Authority. And they say here's some information where there's some George in our sorry no. But minimum the it's up to him. Then when your SIM card is registered at that sitting no, see a Ghana Nino, when you're a Ghana card no, your money access number be to log onto the platform anytime they want. At any given time you want, maybe you go to ghanagov.ie. This is your username because of the phone number my dada. In your username will be your email address. Who use your email address? A text message will be sent to your phone. Now the phone some message never ban. I'll log in as your password. Not a BS system no. It is a German person saying add another SIM card. Wakoto SIM card you know the SIM card number na ba So there is no need to even register your SIM card because you have done it already with your National Identification Authority, TIFN, Ghana card numbers, whatever no. And register that. Why is Sam George wasting people's time? At some of I say 1847 and saying Sam George can in there. Sam George information they get no, or they compare Dubai when I go Dubai. That's when you need a SIM card, you can buy a tourist SIM card. Sam George, I'm telling you, Obia phone number kita no go Dubai still a year juma. And if you Sam George you are telling us as a Ghana ni and as a Bruni and a foreigner biba Ghana, that's what better SIM card now. You need to register and then Uber tracing the number, the passport. Sam George, why the mouse are power no? Why the mouse Sam George are power to be tracking people's movement in the country? Ghana na nema here, mo me hwe yo. Abusuya. Baby Sam George the Ghana ekono. Or stepping on an avenue. Mema dream he doesn't have that authority to do those kind of things. Minimum people of Sam George are power no. Say na the Ghana kwa Sam George thinks he's going to liaise with the immigration officers and you tracking movement you know. Now what can Ghana be a terrorist another day. And Afghanistan enemy another day because mentally Sam George, you are failing. What failing at that? Now you don't know where you are going. Maybe I'll call the end of the and then Mamenko another leg. Obia all Ghana card is that no. There should be an officer and as a platformer. Okohobia, then they will take your phone number keke. Not your be access portal yama username. And your phone number na question on when you log on to a password will be sent to your phone number now the mama Sam George friend the primary phone number I best send it to it so there is no need for you to tell people to go and queue or to go and do whatever again And then Sam George, I'm telling you, Accra ho na oteno. Onko kofori de sere so da. Obi ani kofori de sere so a network out there phone call kran obi. Adwuma yede share won sa no. Okon suta sere so a ofuru dua as no wanya network. Enti adwuma yede ma on the primary adwuma yede ma on say ma mobile network accessibility enko ba bia na obi anya bi. Na wo ti Accra be ka kire say e na we use phone na say na wuti na say masa asa Sam George agoro wani so won. Kokongoro beja group say nipa say na use Android phone or iOS or obi use yam. So you need to send people there to go and do that and I say quite be na so menya sa information aye Sam George masa agoro wani so. Kwa we pa anyway when me say mechanic say ha me be si ha so pa he should come for better education na en children how to do adewe no enye na adwuma no any process na wa confuse president my president idi na chi no a flawed system that same registration as for Sam George tell us be catch me obey minister no what them say 1 year 3 months ni momo fraud amount to saying and ayera Ghana tell me and the exercise we na wa be also the app be na be an app no cost Ghana saying how much are you going to spend tell us when I go ne best at fee and some people are Ghana na master sometimes video much here on be more confused yeah say more hey Sam George what am I fucking disappointed with anymore disappointed Sam George disappointed me totally 100% or disappointed me but anyway it's up to him. The phone communicates with an IP address when there is a SIM card in it. So when you remove your SIM card and reinsert it in your phone, your IP address changes. Better education, Desmond. Sam George, we hear education. Somebody is misinforming Honorable Sam George, and he is also misleading the president. I say there's no way Sam George can block people. So, but with what authority are you going to block people's phone? I mean, say, I told me phone. I say you think say somebody reports my number. We say actually sika. Is it court? Any bit me kasa. So why would say we are sika a fraud? Fraud Obama a criminal offense. Criminal offense you need to go to court. It's the court the bet say you block your phone and you block it. Sam George, who as a minister now, the authority now. Wow, you are telling us say you can be blocking people's phones and people's numbers. They are saying, "Ay, masa." This is the debate.